Hi everybody, it's Lyn from Lyn's Craft Designs. I'm coming by today for hopefully the final part in this. We're painting metal colors. Now I've already done the mica powder several ways, the acrylic paint. This time I'm going to show you the alcohol mixatives and the Swellegant. Now these are the alcohol mixatives. You can still buy these. Although, I'm not kidding you, I've had these for at least 8 years. So, when you first pull them out, after not using them for a while, they are going to be all settled out. When you try to shake them, you will get no response. So what I did was, I just banged them on my desk a little bit, just to rattle that settling out of the bottom. Then I went to shake it until I rattled that ball loose. And then I continued to shake it. I want it to really be shook up. Alright? So, whoop. Alright, we're going to start with this one. This one is the copper. Okay. So, as per the way normal people use... Sorry, I got a bad comment once upon a time ago about using alcohol ink the way I'm supposed to. Well, I'm an artist and the way I'm supposed to just doesn't calculate. Let me find me a little bit of a brush. Okay, I can still see that this copper is not shook up well enough. Now the first thing I should have said is these are resin. They could just as easily be polymer clay. I just didn't have it in me to make three more faces when I've got tons of faces. So, if you want the alcohol to flow better over the surface, you can hit it with alcohol first. Just touch the surface with alcohol first. Then go for your alcohol mixatives. There, I'm starting to get a little of the copper right there, but it's still going to take some mixing. And I apologize, but this is some of the things you may run into yourself. So, that's why I left it in. Okay, finally got it. Had to poke the tip a bit, and it still was not shook up. Okay. These actually may have settled out a little more than I first thought. Hey. Hey, I'll let that set just a minute. A little bit of the alcohol evaporate off. Now, normally your alcohol mixatives won't be this thick and grainy. Hopefully. But hey, they still worked. Alright, so this is the silver, gold, and copper of the alcohol inks. Now, just to give you a for instance, this is the acrylic paint. Okay? So, as you can see, these have a much more matte finish, which you could use just like it is, or you could put a varnish on top. So, they're really pretty though, aren't they? Let's see, what's some of the more matte finish? These really are the most matte finish of the ones that we've done so far. Okay, so next is the Swellegant. Now, the one thing I have done ahead of time, because these are resin, is I put the prep on there, the Swellegant prep. I don't normally use it when I do polymer clay. Christy Friesen suggests using it on the resin. I'm not sure whether she suggests using it on the polymer clay or not. But I have prepped these 3 locks. So I'll get my Swellegant out and we'll be right back. Okay, if you don't have it or have never even heard of it, Swellegant, which is a metal coating. So the silver has metal particles in it. The reason why Christy Friesen created these was because the metal particles will react with patinas. So this is a whole line of the Swellegant patinas and even dioxides. I'll do a video on the whole thing later. Alright, so this is the silver that I'm going to start with. And because I learned from experience, I am not going to work out of the bottle. Or even out of the lid. Just checking that I had removed the... Lordy. Alright. That is probably enough. And I don't know if you can tell, my fish tank is much quieter today. As my mother would say, don't count your blessings before they're hatched, but alright, the Swellegant, depending on how thick you put it on, shouldn't obscure your details. Now, the other thing with the Swellegant is it requires 2 coats. If you're gonna put the patina on. The patina only works when the metal coating is wet. Okay, now just like with other paints, you can mix and match these metal coatings. In other words, you could make a brass silver. Sorry. Or even a brass copper. So, as you can tell, I put out a little bit too much. You could tell there was still a little silver on my brush. And when it comes to the patinas, the one that, the darkening, which is just that, it will put a darkening like antiquing layer. But with the silver, that's all you get is a darkening. If you try one of the other patinas, it's still going to give you the darkening effect. But with the brass, the copper, the bronze, the effect will be whatever the patina says. So a Tiffany green will give you a Tiffany green color. The verdigris rust will give you I believe a bluer color on the brass, copper, and bronze. If you use it on the iron, it will give you rust, which is one of my absolute favorites. But for this one, we are just going to work with the metal colors. Sorry. Always shake. This one actually may not have opened. Uh-oh. Okay. And then another thing you might notice is the Swellegant, especially on this resin, will require 2 coats. Even if you're just using it like I'm using it in this particular instance, just as the metal coating. Alright, so I'll be back once these are dry, and I've put a second coat on them, just so you can see the difference. Okay, here they are. Now, the one thing that really surprises me is how similar the colors are. Even though these are a shinier... Okay, the one thing I was surprised by is how similar the colors are in the alcohol ink and the Swellegant. Whereas the others, this is just the copper, they're way different in coloration. Okay, so this is the alcohol ink, which I'm in love with the matte finish with the sheen of them. The Swellegant, which now that they're coated with the metal coating, I can put them in my stash and pull them out whenever I want to use a patina and dioxide combination on them. Just another coat of the metal coating, patina, dioxide, and they're ready to go. Just let them bloom and the sky is the limit. Alright, the alcohol ink, same thing. You could put another color of alcohol ink on top. Like, you could put a blue alcohol ink on the silver and just really just dab it on, and it would give you a similar effect. Alright, so there we are with the alcohol ink and the Swellegant. Lovely, lovely colors. So lots of different metal effects can be made with mica powders, acrylic paints, alcohol inks, Swellegant, and I'm sure there's many others. I could do another video just on acrylic paint. I have that many acrylic paints, and they'll all have a different effect when they're done. They'll be shinier or duller or a different color. I've got some that are, like I've got one that's called aluminum. I've got one that's called sterling silver, and they would both give a different effect. Most of these were just called silver, but I just love that one. This one is the Alumilite metallic powders. And one of the ways that I can tell is strictly by the feel. The mica powder finishes will have a different feel when they're done than the acrylic paint. The acrylic paint obviously has a much smoother feel, as if it's got the sealer already in it, which it actually does. It's got an acrylic medium that helps the pigment stick. Alright, so there you go. Metallic finishes with all kinds of things. If you liked this video, please like, share, and subscribe. As I always say, all my social media links are listed below, and I'm basically everywhere. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I've got a Patreon page, a Facebook group. I've got an Amazon shop that I get a little kickback from if you're interested in buying anything. Bye for now.